Companies Act Section 37. Action by affected persons. 1. Right to legal action. Section 37 of the Companies Act grants a critical right to individuals and groups who have been harmed by misleading statements, deceptive practices, or omissions of material information in a prospectus. This section ensures that those adversely affected by inaccurate or incomplete disclosures in a prospectus can seek legal recourse. This provision is designed to uphold the principle of transparency and ensure that investors and stakeholders have access to accurate and reliable information before making financial commitments. Legal recourse. Any individual, group of individuals, or association of persons who suffer financial or other forms of harm as a direct result of misinformation in a prospectus can initiate legal proceedings. This right extends to any person or group that can demonstrate that the misleading information or omission had a detrimental impact on their financial decision-making, causing loss or damage. By providing this legal remedy, the Companies Act ensures that those responsible for preparing and issuing prospectuses are held accountable for the accuracy of the information they present. This provision emphasizes the importance of full and honest disclosure, deterring companies from presenting inaccurate or incomplete details to investors. 2. Scope of action. Section 37 outlines the various legal avenues available to those affected by misleading statements or omissions in a prospectus. Affected parties can seek remedies in the following ways. Filing a lawsuit. Individuals or entities harmed by misleading information in a prospectus may file a lawsuit to seek judicial redress. These lawsuits are filed under the provisions of the Companies Act that specifically address civil and criminal liability for misstatements in a prospectus. The lawsuit seeks to rectify the harm caused by the deceptive practices and to hold the responsible parties accountable for the damages suffered. For example, if a company issued a prospectus that contained exaggerated financial figures or omitted key information about its liabilities, and investors suffered losses after purchasing the company's securities based on this misleading information, those investors could file a lawsuit to recover their losses. Other legal remedies. Apart from filing a lawsuit, affected persons can also pursue other legal remedies provided under the Companies Act. These remedies may include claiming compensation for financial losses, seeking penalties for those who issued the misleading prospectus, or taking other actions to correct the harm done. The Companies Act provides a framework for addressing various forms of wrongdoing related to prospectus issuance, and affected persons are empowered to use this framework to their advantage. The legal actions available under Section 37 allow for a broad range of responses to the different types of harm that may arise from misleading or deceptive prospectuses. Whether through direct lawsuits or other legal avenues, this section ensures that affected parties have the means to seek justice. 3. Applicable sections for legal action. To guide affected parties in seeking remedies, Section 37 refers to 3 key provisions within the Companies Act, Sections 34, 35, and 36. Each of these sections outlines specific liabilities and legal consequences related to the issuance of a prospectus. Section 34, Criminal liability for misstatements in prospectus. Section 34 addresses the criminal liability of individuals or entities responsible for issuing a prospectus containing false or misleading information. Under this section, those who authorize the distribution of a fraudulent prospectus can be held criminally liable if it is proven that the prospectus contained false statements or material omissions with the intent to deceive investors. This section also defines the penalties for such offenses, which can include imprisonment and significant fines. Affected persons who believe they have been defrauded by a misleading prospectus may take legal action under Section 34 to hold the responsible parties criminally accountable. Section 35, Civil liability for misstatements in prospectus. Section 35 deals with the civil liability of individuals or entities that cause harm to investors by issuing a prospectus with false or misleading information. Under this section, directors, promoters, and other individuals involved in the issuance of the prospectus can be held financially liable for any losses suffered by investors as a result of the misleading statements or omissions. This section provides a pathway for affected persons to claim compensation for their financial losses. Affected investors can seek civil damages under Section 35 if they can demonstrate that the misleading information in the prospectus directly caused their losses. Section 36. Punishment for fraudulently inducing persons to invest money. Section 36 focuses on the fraudulent inducement of investment based on false promises or deceptive statements. It holds individuals accountable if they deliberately misled investors by making false statements or concealing material facts with the intent to induce investment in securities. Legal action under Section 36 may involve both criminal and civil consequences for those found guilty of fraudulent practices. Affected persons can initiate action under this section to seek justice and ensure that those responsible for fraud face appropriate penalties, which may include fines, imprisonment, and compensation for the victims. 4. Objective of the provision. The primary objective of Section 37 is to provide an accessible and effective legal mechanism for redressal to individuals or groups harmed by inaccuracies or omissions in a prospectus. This provision recognizes that issuing a prospectus is a serious undertaking, and companies must provide accurate and comprehensive information to the public. When companies or individuals fail to do so, they can cause significant financial harm to investors, undermining the integrity of the financial markets. Investor protection. At its core, Section 37 is designed to protect the interests of investors by giving them the right to take legal action when they are misled by false or incomplete information. This protection is essential for maintaining confidence in the securities market and ensuring that investors can make informed decisions based on truthful and transparent disclosures. Maintaining transparency. The provision also reinforces the importance of transparency in corporate disclosures. By holding companies and individuals accountable for the accuracy of their prospectuses, Section 37 encourages a culture of honesty and openness in the issuance of securities. This, in turn, helps to build trust between companies and investors, which is vital for the proper functioning of the financial markets. Holding wrongdoers accountable. Section 37 ensures that those responsible for issuing misleading prospectuses are held accountable for their actions. Whether through criminal penalties, civil liabilities, or other legal consequences, this provision makes it clear that there will be serious repercussions for those who seek to deceive investors for personal or corporate gain. By providing affected persons with the right to take legal action, Section 37 empowers investors and other stakeholders to seek justice and to protect themselves from fraudulent practices. It also serves as a deterrent to companies and individuals, reminding them of the legal obligations they must meet when issuing a prospectus.